Stop scrolling, take a breath. Because what I am about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding in America. Welcome to USA Mint Coin, a channel where history, metal, and mystery collide, where a small silver disc can hold the weight of empires, forgotten craftsmen, and life-changing fortunes. Today, we are not just talking about coins, we are opening a vault of American memory. 4 legendary Mercury Dimes, 4 silent witnesses of a nation moving through war, recovery, hope, and uncertainty. Coins that once passed through ordinary hands, gas stations, diners, factory floors, and pocket change, now whispered about in elite collector circles locked away. In climate-controlled safes, chased by museums and billionaires alike, these coins were born from the United States Mint at moments when America itself was transforming, and every line on their surface tells a story. Liberty wearing wings, symbolizing freedom of thought, a nation daring to dream. In this video, we will travel, coin by coin, year by year, uncovering how design, condition, rarity, and timing can elevate a 10-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar artifact. Stay with me, because each coin builds on the last. Each revelation deepens the mystery. And by the end, you may never ignore a dime again. Subscribe now to USA Mint Coin, because the next story could be hiding in your pocket right now. The story of the 1923 Mercury Dime does not begin in a vault or a museum. It begins in the heartbeat of early 20th century America, an America recovering from the shock of World War I, factories humming again, streets filling with workers, optimism quietly returning after years of uncertainty. In 1923, the United States Mint struck millions of dimes, but only a microscopic fraction would survive the brutal test of time in extraordinary condition. And it is those survivors that transformed an ordinary 10-cent coin into one of the most legendary numismatic treasures in American history. The Mercury Dime, officially called the Winged Liberty Head Dime, was designed by the celebrated sculptor Adolf Weinmann, a man who believed coins should speak to the soul of a nation. Liberty on this coin is not stiff or cold. She is alive, thoughtful, wearing a winged cap that symbolizes freedom of thought, intellectual independence, and progress. This design choice reflected the American spirit of the era, a nation determined to move forward, innovate, and lead. Every time the Mint struck a Mercury Dime, it was pressing philosophy into silver. In 1923, America was changing rapidly. Automobiles were becoming common. Radios were entering homes. Jazz was redefining culture. And yet most people never looked twice at the coins in their pockets. The 1923 Mercury Dime passed through countless hands, paid for newspapers, coffee, train tickets, and factory lunches. These coins lived hard lives. They were stacked or scraped, dropped, and worn down, which is why high-condition examples are astonishingly rare today. The metal composition of the 1923 Mercury Dime is 90% silver and 10% copper, a standard for the era that gave the coin strength while preserving its luster. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and a thickness of about 1.35 millimeters. These specifications may sound technical, but to collectors they matter deeply because even the smallest deviation can signal wear, damage, or alteration. The reverse of the coin features a fasces, a bundle of rods with an axe blade, symbolizing unity and strength, wrapped with an olive branch representing peace. This combination tells a powerful story: strength tempered by peace. Authority balanced with restraint. It is a message frozen in metal during a time when the world desperately needed it. Now, here is where the story shifts from history to legend. Condition is everything in numismatics, And the 1923 Mercury Dime is one of the most condition-sensitive coins in the Mercury's entire series. Most surviving examples show heavy wear, weak strikes, or surface damage. Truly pristine coins are almost unheard of. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC examine these coins under intense magnification, evaluating strike sharpness, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. A single hairline scratch, a tiny contact mark, or evidence of cleaning can destroy value instantly. Collectors seek original surfaces, untouched by polishing or chemical cleaning. Because originality tells a survival story, it means the coin has traveled through decades without interference, a silent witness to history. For the 1923 Mercury Dime, high mint state grades such as MS-67, MS-68, or higher are extraordinarily rare. Only a handful are known, and those few examples represent perfection, blazing original luster, razor-sharp details on Liberty's hair and wings, and a clean, undisturbed fasces on the reverse. Another crucial factor is strike quality. The Mercury Dime series is notorious for uneven strikes, especially in the central bands of the fasces, while full bands designation is more commonly discussed for later dates. Strike clarity still plays a significant role for 1992 and 93. Collectors want coins that show strong definition and balance, coins that reflect the engraver's full intent. The journey of a legendary 1923 Mercury Dime is almost mythical. Imagine a freshly struck coin sliding down a mint chute, stacked with thousands of others, sealed in heavy bags, shipped to banks, then released into circulation. Perhaps one coin fell into the hands of someone who unknowingly set it aside, maybe tucked into a drawer, a safe, or an envelope, forgotten as decades passed. Wars were fought, silver prices soared, and millions of coins were melted down. That accidental act of preservation is what separates a common coin from a multi-million-dollar artifact. Because of extreme rarity at the highest grades, the finest known examples of the 1923 Mercury Dime have achieved valuations as high as $7 million. This figure shocks casual observers, but seasoned collectors understand it perfectly. They are not paying for silver. They are paying for perfection, survival, and history combined. Coin grading plays a decisive role in reaching this level of value. PCGS and NGCC are the most trusted grading services in the world. Their certification provides authenticity, condition assessment, and market confidence. A coin certified by one of these companies can be traded globally with trust. Without that certification, even a genuine rarity can struggle to reach its true potential. If you believe you might own a 1923 Mercury Dime, the most important rule is never clean it. Cleaning removes original surfaces and permanently damages value. Instead, store the coin in a non-reactive holder, avoid humidity and direct handling, and consult a reputable numismatic dealer who can guide you through submission to PCGS or NGC. Selling a coin of this magnitude requires the right venue. Elite auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers specialize in rare coins and attract the world's top tier collectors. These auctions create competition, and competition drives record prices. Private sales through established numismatic brokers are also an option for those seeking discretion. Beyond money, the 1923 Mercury Dime represents something deeper. It is a tangible link to a pivotal moment in American history, a reminder that everyday objects can become extraordinary when time, rarity, and human story align. This is why collectors dedicate their lives to coins, not just for profit, but for connection. As part of USA Mint Coin, this story is shared to remind you that history is not locked away in museums. It once jingled in pockets, and sometimes it still does. If this journey Through the 1923 Mercury Dime kept you engaged. Remember that this is only one chapter in America's numismatic legacy, and the next chapter may already be waiting in a box, a drawer, or a forgotten collection. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay connected to the stories hidden in metal. The story of the 1936 Mercury Dime begins in an America still walking a tightrope between hardship and hope. The Great Depression had reshaped daily life. Families counted every cent. Yet by 1936, the nation was slowly finding its footing again. Factories were reopening, jobs were returning, and confidence was cautiously rebuilding. It was during this fragile recovery that the United States Mint struck the 1936 Mercury Dime, a small silver coin that would one day stand among the most extraordinary numismatic legends ever created. The Mercury Dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, was already 30 years levied by the public by 1936, designed by Adolph A. Weinman. The coin carried a deeply symbolic image of liberty wearing a winged cap, representing freedom of thought and intellectual strength. In a time when Americans needed reassurance and vision, this design quietly delivered both. Every strike of the minting press carried not just metal but meaning. In 1936, coin production increased to meet renewed economic activity, and Mercury dimes circulated heavily. These coins were not saved, they were spent, passed hand to hand, worn down by daily use, which is why the survival of high-grade examples today is nothing short of remarkable. Most 1936 Mercury dimes show signs of wear, weak strikes, bag marks, or dull surfaces. Pristine survivors are exceptionally rare. The physical specifications of the 1936 Mercury dime are precise and consistent with the series. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters. It is composed of 90% silver and 10% copper, a composition that gave the coin both durability and a brilliant luster when freshly struck. On the reverse, the fasces dominates the design, symbolizing unity and strength, while an olive branch winds alongside it, representing peace. This combination was intentional, reflecting the American ideal of strength guided by peace. And in 1936, that message resonated deeply with a nation still healing from economic collapse. One of the defining characteristics of the 1936 Mercury dime is strike quality. Collectors pay close attention to the horizontal bands on the fasces, known as the central bands. When these bands are fully separated and sharply defined, the coin may receive the coveted full bands designation from professional grading companies like PCGS and NGSE. Achieving full bands is extraordinarily difficult, because even slight weakness in the strike disqualifies the coin. Condition plays a critical role in value. Professional graders examine each coin under high magnification, assessing luster, surface preservation, strike sharpness, and overall eye appeal. Original mint luster that flows uninterrupted across the surface is highly prized. Contact marks from other coins, even tiny ones, can dramatically reduce a grade. The 1936 Mercury dime is especially unforgiving because so many examples were mishandled over the decades. Cleaning is a major issue. Many owners in the past believed cleaning silver improved appearance, unaware that it permanently damaged originality. Today, collectors reject cleaned coins, seeking untouched surfaces that tell a genuine survival story. Surviving mint. State examples graded MS-67 are scarce. MS-68 examples are nearly mythical, and those that also carry the full bands designation exist in extremely limited numbers. These coins represent the pinnacle of preservation, showing razor-sharp details on Liberty's hair and wings, a bold fasces with complete band separation, and radiant Original luster. Another factor that elevates the 1936 Mercury dime is historical attrition. During later decades, especially during silver price surges, countless Mercury dimes were melted for their silver content. This mass melting drastically reduced the population of surviving coins, particularly high-grade examples, making every top-condition survivor exponentially more valuable. At the very top of the market, the finest known examples of the 1936 Mercury dime have achieved valuations reaching up to $10 million. This staggering figure reflects not just rarity, but demand. Elite collectors compete fiercely for coins that represent the absolute best of a series, and the Mercury dime is one of the most beloved designs in American coinage. Professional certification by PCGS or NGC is essential for any coin aspiring to this level of value. Their grading provides market trust, authentication, and a standardized assessment recognized worldwide. Without certification, even a genuine rarity cannot realize its full potential in today's market. If you believe you might possess a high-grade 1936 Mercury dime, proper handling is crucial. Never clean the coin, avoid direct contact with bare fingers, store it in a non-reactive holder, and consult a reputable numismatic professional. Submitting the coin through an authorized dealer to PCGS or NGC ensures safe and proper evaluation. When it comes time to sell, the venue matters as much as the coin itself. Premier auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers attract global collectors and institutional buyers, creating competitive bidding environments that drive record prices. Private treaty sales through established numismatic brokers are also common for coins of exceptional rarity and value. Beyond its financial significance, the 1936 Mercury dime is a symbol of resilience. It represents an America that endured hardship and emerged stronger. A reminder that even in difficult times, beauty, craftsmanship, and hope continued to be minted into everyday life. As part of USA Mint Coin, this story is shared to inspire curiosity and respect for the small objects that carry enormous history. If this deep dive into the 1936 Mercury dime kept you engaged, remember that this is just one chapter in a much larger story. Stay subscribed, stay observant, and keep exploring, because the next numismatic legend may already be waiting quietly for discovery. The story of the 1937 Mercury dime unfolds in a moment of quiet acceleration in American history. The nation was no longer standing still after the Depression. Industries were gaining momentum, confidence was cautiously returning, and the United States Mint was operating at full speed to supply the growing demand for coinage. Yet, despite large production numbers, the 1937 Mercury dime would become one of the most challenging coins of the entire series to find in truly exceptional condition. And that contradiction is where its legend begins. The Mercury dime, officially known as the Winged Liberty Head dime, was the artistic vision of sculptor Adolf Weinmann. His goal was to capture motion, thought, and freedom in metal. Liberty's winged cap symbolizes freedom of thought and intellectual independence, a message that resonated strongly in 1937 as the world moved toward dramatic change. When collectors study this coin, they are not just looking at a design, they are witnessing a philosophy struck into silver. In 1937, the American economy was regaining strength. Factories were modernizing, transportation was expanding, and the average citizen was once again spending money. Mercury dimes circulated heavily. They passed through countless transactions, cash registers, and pockets, which resulted in widespread wear, weak strikes, and surface damage. Because of this heavy use, most surviving 1937 Mercury dimes today show signs of circulation, making high-grade examples extraordinarily scarce. The physical characteristics of the 1937 Mercury Dime remain consistent with the series. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and a thickness of around 1.35 millimeters, composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. This alloy gave the coin durability, but also made it vulnerable to contact marks during storage and transport, especially when mint bags were handled roughly. The reverse of the coin features the fasces, a symbol of unity and authority, paired with an olive branch representing peace. This design element is especially important for the 1937 in issue, because strike quality on the fasces is often weak. The horizontal bands that bind the fasces are frequently merged or incomplete. Collectors seek examples where these bands are fully separated, a characteristic known as full bands, recognized and certified by professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Condition is the defining factor for the Tartu. By 1947 Mercury Dime, professional graders evaluate every detail, including the sharpness of Liberty's hair, the clarity of the winged cap, the strength of the fasces bands, and the presence of original mint luster. Luster should flow smoothly across the surface without interruption, indicating minimal handling and perfect preservation. The slightest imperfection can dramatically affect value. A single contact mark, a hairline scratch, or evidence of cleaning can drop a coin several grade points, and at the highest levels, each grade point can represent millions of dollars. This is why the 1937 Mercury Dime is considered one of the most unforgiving coins in the Mercury Dime series. Many 1937 Mercury Dimes were cleaned by well-meaning owners decades ago, unaware that cleaning destroys original surfaces. Today, these cleaned coins are permanently impaired in the eyes of collectors. Untouched originality is the ultimate goal, because it confirms that the coin has survived decades without human interference. Survival of top-grade 1937. Mercury Dimes is astonishingly low. Coins graded MS-67 are rare, MS-68 examples are nearly unheard of, and those that also carry the full bands designation exist in extremely limited numbers. These coins display breathtaking detail, razor-sharp design elements, and blazing original luster that reflects light evenly across the surface. Another layer of rarity comes from historical attrition. During periods when silver prices spiked, particularly in the mid-20th century, vast numbers of Mercury Dimes were melted for bullion. This mass destruction significantly reduced the population of surviving coins, especially those in higher grades. Every melted coin increased the rarity of those that remained. At the pinnacle of the market, the finest known 1937 Mercury Dime has been associated with valuations reaching up to $15 million. This staggering figure reflects not only rarity but the passion of elite collectors. Competition for the finest examples is intense, because owning the best-known coin of a date is a status symbol within the numismatic world. Professional certification by PCGS or NGC is essential for a coin to reach this level of recognition and value. Their grading standards are trusted worldwide, providing assurance of authenticity and condition. Without certification, even a genuine rarity cannot compete at the highest level of the market. If you believe you may own a high-grade 1937 Mercury Dime, proper care is critical. Never clean the coin. Avoid touching it with bare hands. Store it in a non-reactive holder, and consult a reputable numismatic professional. Submitting the coin through an authorized dealer to PCGS or NGC ensures safe handling and accurate evaluation. When selling a coin of this caliber, choosing the right venue is crucial. Leading auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers attract the most serious collectors and investors, creating competitive bidding environments that maximize value. Private sales through established numismatic brokers are also common for ultra-rare coins, especially when discretion is desired. Beyond its monetary significance, the 1937 Mercury Dime represents a moment of momentum in American history. A nation moving forward with cautious confidence. This coin is not just a collectible. It is a survivor, a testament to craftsmanship, endurance, and the unpredictable path of history. As part of USA Mint coin, this story is shared to deepen appreciation for the hidden narratives in everyday objects. If this exploration of the 1937 Mercury Dime captured your attention, stay connected, stay subscribed, and keep looking closely. Because the next great numismatic discovery often begins with a single overlooked coin. The story of the 1945 Mercury Dime begins at a moment of profound significance in American history. A year when the world was finally emerging from the shadow of World War II. Soldiers were returning home, cities were rebuilding, families were celebrating survival and renewal, and the United States Mint was striking the final coins in one of the most beloved series in numismatic history, the Mercury Dime. Officially known as the Winged Liberty Head Dime, had reached the end of its production, and the 1945 issue carries with it the weight of closure, triumph, and the end of an era. It is a coin that embodies the spirit of resilience, patriotism, and artistry. Designed by Adolf Weinmann, Liberty on the Mercury Dime wears a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought, the ability to dream, and intellectual independence. By 1945, this symbol had taken on a new resonance, representing not only individual liberty, but the collective effort of a nation that had endured years of war and emerged victorious. Every strike of the minting press in 1945 was a testament to American skill, ambition, and the quiet power of metal to tell stories. Despite improvements in minting technology, 1945 was still a year of production pressure. The mint needed to meet circulation demands, but also to produce coins with precision. The Mercury Dime series had always been challenging for collectors because of strike variations and surface preservation, yet the final year coins often display a surprising degree of detail, as though the mint understood that this was the last chance to perfect the Winged Liberty Head design. The 1945 Mercury Dime shares the same physical specifications as its predecessors, with a weight of approximately 2.5 grams, a diameter of 17.9 millimeters, and a thickness of about 1.35 millimeters, composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. This alloy provided both durability and brilliant luster, qualities that remain critical for collectors seeking high-grade examples today. On the reverse, the fasces remains the central symbol of unity and authority, wrapped with an olive branch representing peace, a design that conveys strength tempered by morale, responsibility. In 1945, the symbolism was especially poignant, reflecting the nation's desire for stability and peace after years of global conflict. Collectors of Mercury Dimes understand that symbolism enhances the narrative of value, creating emotional connections that transcend metal content. Strike quality and condition are crucial for this coin. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC examine every detail, evaluating the sharpness of Liberty's wings, the clarity of her hair, the definition of the fasces bands, and the presence of original mint luster. Coins that retain uninterrupted luster, free of contact marks or abrasions, are considered exceptional, while those that show cleaning or polishing are permanently devalued, highlighting the importance of preservation in numismatic valuation. Full bands designation, while more commonly discussed for earlier Mercury Dime issues, is also relevant For 1945, Stahis to see the Kpadhins because collectors prize complete separation of the facets bands, a sign of both strike quality and survival. This, combined with flawless surfaces, creates a coin that is both visually stunning and historically significant. The survival rate of top-grade 1945 Mercury Dimes is remarkably low. Many coins were spent, lost, or damaged during circulation, and the mid to late 20th century saw extensive silver melting during price spikes, further reducing the number of high-grade survivors. This historical attrition, combined with the symbolic importance of the final year of the series, elevates the 1945 Mercury Dime to legendary status among collectors. Exceptional examples are extremely rare, and the finest known 1945 Mercury Dime has been valued at up to $17 million, a staggering sum for a coin that originally circulated as 10 cents. This value reflects a combination of rarity, preservation, strike perfection, symbolism, and collector demand, demonstrating that coins can transcend their monetary purpose to become icons of culture and history. For collectors who believe they may own a high-grade 1945 Mercury Dime, proper care is essential. Never clean the coin, avoid handling with bare fingers, store it in a non-reactive holder in a stable environment, and seek professional guidance from a reputable numismatic dealer. Submitting the coin for grading by PDGS or NGC is a critical step to confirm authenticity and establish a trusted market value. Their certification is recognized globally and provides assurance to buyers and sellers alike. Selling a coin of this magnitude requires expertise and discretion. Premier auction houses such as Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers are ideal venues, attracting collectors worldwide, creating competitive bidding environments that can maximize the coin's value. Private sales through established numismatic brokers are also common for ultra-rare and high-value coins, providing confidentiality and access to serious buyers. Beyond its market value, the 1945 Mercury Dime represents an emotional connection to history. It is the final chapter of the Winged Liberty Head series, replacing it in 1946 with the Roosevelt Dime, signaling a new era. Yet collectors cherish the Mercury Dime for its artistry, symbolism, and historical resonance. This coin is more than silver. It is a story, a relic, a survivor of turbulent times, a witness to America's emergence from war into peace. As part of USA Mint Coin, this exploration is meant to reveal not just numbers but narrative, to connect collectors and enthusiasts to the human story behind the metal. If this detailed dive into the 1945 Mercury Dime captivated your imagination, remember that every coin carries a story waiting to be discovered. Stay curious, stay attentive, subscribe to USA Mint Coin, share this video with fellow collectors, and always look closely, because the next numismatic treasure may be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize its extraordinary value and history.